Hey guys, welcome back to another HanSelah video. So if you are in any sort of industry that uses the internet, you may have heard the term Web3. So this is basically a definition video explaining what Web3 is according to me. There is no definite definition of what Web3 is, but this is my understanding of it. I do work full-time in Web3 in a Web3 tech company, so this is what I do every day, and this is coming from my personal experience of what I understand Web3 to be. So hopefully this will give a bit of insight into my world and what awaits for the future of the internet. So Web3, in the most basic forms, it's basically the third generation of the internet. So I'm going to give you a quick backstory so you can understand where we're going in future. So Web3 is basically the next generation of the internet. It's the third generation of the internet. So when the internet first started, we started with Web 1.0. Web 1.0 is basically read-only. So you could basically just read the information that was given to you online. You couldn't interact with it, you couldn't edit it, you couldn't comment. You could just read that information, and that is it. Then we moved on to Web 2.0. We are currently in Web 2.0. Web 2.0 is basically read and write. So like Facebook, for example, you can make a post and you can post it, and then you can comment on other people's posts. So you can write, you can share it, you can edit it, you can change it, you can interact with it. Web 2.0 was also the rise of targeted advertising. So we would sign cookies, like we totally know what they are, and these large corporations knew our personal details, and they were able to then target us specifically as a person, who we are, what we like, our interests, our dislikes, and target adverts specifically for us based off the information we have provided or off the information they have collected from us. That was part of Web 2.0. Read, write, targeted advertising. Another aspect of Web 2 was very much user-generated content. Advertising and marketing campaigns based a lot of their projects on gaining user-generated content, getting their users to interact, to share, to post, to show their identity, to share their pictures of their family and this and that and whatnot. Like, that is very much a Web 2 mindset. Then we move on to Web 3. So Web3 is now the third generation of the internet, and it's basically all about decentralization, taking away a big CEO that controls everything, giving the power back to the communities. So there's a lot of DAOs, which are decentralized autonomous organizations, which are owned by communities of people. So if a decision needs to be made, there's no one person that can just shut it off. You need to have like a collective vote. So it's about decentralization, DAOs, moving our finances to DeFi, which is decentralized finance. So your money is no longer kept by a centralized bank that can call the shots and do what they want with your money. You have full ownership of your assets, of your money, of your information. You can stay anonymous. You don't have to tell anyone who you are. There's no monopoly of information or certain large companies owning everything. Web3 also focuses very much on transparency, and that's been amazing, especially with the use of blockchain technology. Blockchain, in the simplest forms, I could do a whole video on this, is basically a digital ledger. So think of it like in accounting, you would have a ledger of all your book, your finances, and that's basically what the blockchain is. It's a ledger to show who bought what and when and why and how and where it is and who has it and whatnot. Like, you cannot escape the blockchain. Every transaction that happens on a blockchain is solidified in basically a matrix code. So yeah, Web3 is very much about transparency, open internet where everyone has access to that information, and yeah, basically giving the power back to its users, not the power sitting with CEOs or presidents. So Web3 is going to become a large part of how we do business in future, how we do personal things in future. I mean, people think of NFTs, they're like, oh, NFTs are Web3 and blockchain is Web3 and voice AI is Web3 and AI Web3 and VR is Web3, and that's not really it. Like, Web3 is just the section of the internet. I think a lot of people also confuse blockchain technology with Web3 and NFTs with Web3. NFTs are not the internet. Blockchain is not the internet. Those are two very different things. NFTs are technology. Blockchain technology is a technology. It's not the internet. Because I think a lot of people are like, oh, I can just online shop online. I can just do this online. I'm like, cool, you can. But remember, it's not internet that you are transacting on when you're on a blockchain. It's a technology. It's a whole other thing. I know that's off topic, but I just wanted to kind of throw that in. And yeah, with Web 2, basically the data that you interact with, the data that you create and share is not owned by you. So Web 3 is about giving the ownership back to the people that own it. It's about not having a centralized group in charge. I think we're obviously in the very early stages of Web 3, but obviously working in tech every day, I can see the potential that this type of internet has, and it's crazy. Like, yeah, there's some really cool things, and especially in terms of how information is shared and traded and interacted with. Like, I think gone are the days of privacy struggles. That was obviously a big thing that we had in Web 2 that people didn't like, was the information was so easily traded across platforms to various people. In Web 3, the only way someone can take your assets or take your money or take something that belongs to you is if you give them that permission. If you specifically provide that information. No one can come in and just take something away from you without you granting them access. And you've got to be very careful of who you grant that access to. Web3 is also very much an incentive-driven type of internet, I would say. You know, a lot of projects that we'll see come out are very much incentivized to gain that project's token or to earn it or to build a community. And I think that's a very big thing in Web3 is the community. You know, it's not, you can't just buy your followers anymore. You've actually got to interact and build and grow with this community. Because if you build a community and they want to get involved in your project and they invest in that, because they can get voting rights, or they can get a little bit of, you know, they can get ownership of a certain percentage or stocks or tokens or whatever, they have an incentive to help you do well. So the people that follow your project will be more inclined to help you, to share, to like, to get involved in this project because it benefits them as well. So community is a very big part of this new internet that is coming to play. So on my channel, I am going to be making a lot more videos about decentralization, about blockchain technology, about NFTs, about VR and AI and all those other questions that you may have. So I can't answer everything in this video. I think Web3 is a very third generation of the internet. I think it's definitely the future of the internet, and there are so many cool things that are going to come out of this. I definitely think it is scary for people that aren't working in this environment every day. For me, because I work with this technology every day and I'm building products for this type of technology, for this type of internet that's coming out, I've really adapted to my mind. I'm just like, there is so much that you can do, like it's crazy. And I think it can be a bit scary for some people. But then I think about how, you know, when Facebook sort of came out, I think people were scared to give their information, to sign up, and I think it was a lot of the older generation. Now if you look at it, most of the older generation are the people who are on Facebook. And for example, when people started doing online shopping, you would connect your credit card to the internet and buy stuff. I think that was another big jump that people were scared to do, to internet shop. Why? Because you're giving your information online. And now looking back, you know, it's a part of everyday life. People are buying online every day. Some people only buy online because, you know, COVID, they don't want to go in store. So I think this internet is very much going in the direction that we as a community of people need. And just in terms of information, data, transparency, I think this is definitely a step in the right direction. And yeah, I'm very excited to be part of this community. So just to recap, Web3 is basically the third generation of the internet, the future of the internet. It is not NFTs and JPEGs and magic money and pictures of monkeys and yeah, a scam. It's not any of that. It's basically just the next step in our internet. It's about transparency, about openness, about giving the power back to its users, about community-owned projects. It is about not allowing 5 major corporations to run all of the internet. For example, on Instagram, like I know a lot of people, as an artist particularly, a lot of artists will make their Instagram their personal portfolio. What happens if one day Instagram decides, we want to quit, and they just gone, Instagram finished, we just got over it. Like, obviously that won't happen, but it could. You never know. I think there wasn't a thing the other day where WhatsApp or Instagram or something, just one of the servers, something went poof, and then no one had Instagram or WhatsApp, whatever it was, for like a day. Yeah, things like that can happen. And imagine if you built your whole life, your whole store, your whole identity, your whole portfolio, everything is online as an Instagram profile. You do not own that. You do not own that information. You do not own that portfolio. You do not own any share in Instagram. They can take it away from you as easy as they gave it to you. But in Web3, You can build and create your own little bubble. And I think it was like, it's the same as building your own website, and that belongs to you. That platform belongs to you. It's the same thing, where you as a person have ownership of your assets. You have proof of that ownership because there are things such as blockchains, which store all that information openly. Anyone can access it. They can see who the owner is, where the money is going, where it is coming from, how much, like everything is public on that blockchain. So it's very difficult to squeeze in there and change data without anyone noticing. Okay, so I hope I haven't confused you too much about what Web3 is. This is just also the tip of the iceberg. There are so many resources available. There's podcasts you can listen to. There's videos that you can watch. There are books and white papers and websites you can read. There is so much information available right now. You just need to filter through it and find the information that is correct. You don't want to be feeding yourself misinformation, especially at the start of this really cool internet age. I hope I haven't confused you too much, but I hope that I've put a little spark in you to do some research and see what the future of this internet holds. I am going to be making a video about NFTs very soon, and the power of NFTs and the future of NFTs. And I also just want to throw in a little thing quickly about NFTs. A lot of people will say, oh, what's an NFT? It's such a scam, like it's just a JPEG. Okay, first of all, it's not just a JPEG, because I meant PNGs, not JPEGs, but anyway. I know that's got nothing to do with it, but anyway. No, it's not just a JPEG. It is a piece of technology. It is a very cool piece of technology. It basically shows proof of ownership. For example, okay, this analogy has been used so much, and I hate that it's used so much, but it works so well. Basically, if you walk into the Louvre and take a picture of the Mona Lisa, which I've done actually twice, but anyway, if you walk into the Louvre and take a picture of the Mona Lisa, do you own the Mona Lisa? No. I wish I did from that, but no, you don't. You own a picture of the Mona Lisa. Do you own the original? No. Will you ever own the original? Probably not. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I can just go and screenshot an NFT, and yes, you can. I'm not arguing with that. It's very easy to screenshot something, but do you own it? And for example, if you want to support me as an artist, and you think, I don't know, in 10 years time, this girl's going to be crazy up there making really great art, and everyone's going to want a piece of her artwork, and you want to buy a piece and show that you own that piece of information. NFTs are a perfect way to do that. You can buy it from them. There is a piece of code written in that image, in that NFT, in that piece of data. There is code that states it went from my wallet to your wallet, and therefore you are the owner. Anyone can take a picture and screenshot it and print it and do whatever they want to do with it, but they will not own the original. And that is the thing with this technology, is you can prove that you own it. I once saw a Gary Vee video, and he was saying, you know, a lot of people own houses, and he was like, cool, prove it. Prove to me that you own your house. And they were like, oh. Obviously you have title deeds and all of that stuff, but whip out your phone and prove to me right now that you own your house. It belongs to you. Your name is on it right there. Do you have to go and fetch the deed from somewhere? Do you have to go access it? You know, do you have to go and fetch the deed from somewhere? Do you have to go access it in a bank vault? Do you need to what? With blockchain technology, it's a very different story. It's a public ledger, and you can easily prove that you own that asset that you say you own or don't own. So guys, I hope this gave you a bit more insight into Web3. I hope I didn't confuse you too much, but hopefully gave you a little spark to go and research some more, find out more information about it. And yeah, if you have any questions, ask them in the comments, or please go onto my Twitter. I'm very active on there. I share a lot of NFT and Web3 content, and I engage with a lot of people there. And my Instagram, subscribe to the channel, like this video if you like it, want to see more content. And yeah, so yeah, have a great day wherever you are in this world, and I will see you very soon. Bye.